Much like the first Mario movie, the Super Mario Galaxy movie is of course being panned by critics, but I anticipate will be loved by the fans. The beginning of the movie is a little bit slower than later portions of the movie, although it does open with a really big action sequence with Rosalina showing how badass she can be. As someone who hasn't completed a Mario game since Nintendo 64 era, I struggled a little bit to recognize some of the character references or other Easter eggs in the middle portions of the film. But they definitely do a great job of capturing a lot of really great classical Mario moments, especially in the earlier portions of the film. It's great that they give Peach her parasol that she had in some Game Boy Advance or DS game way back in the day. She writes a letter to Mario just like in Nintendo 64, where she's not baking him a cake, but she does leave a message for him. It's a really great callback to that moment in the game. I think audiences are really going to love what they've done with Bowser, aka King Koopa, where his character is a little more endearing in this film. He's turned over a new leaf and he's kind of becoming a buddy frenemy to the Mario brothers. But for me it felt a little too bit off of his character because he's always just been this super evil jerk that I couldn't ever see him in the games acting like this, but maybe it works for the film version. They didn't give him another musical number like they did in the first film, so don't expect all the kids to be singing another hit single by Koopa this summer. When they introduce Yoshi, he gets this really weird backstory that it's almost like Yoshi in the Hood. It's surreal what they do, and it ends up being kind of funny how it plays out, but it's definitely more of the Illumination style of storytelling, you can tell. Yoshi also looks a little bit weird in the movie overall, which kind of bothered me because Yoshi's always been my favorite character. But, you don't see him on screen too much, so you can kind of get over it and you kind of get used to it. But the shape of his body's a little strange, and then he's kind of born full size and with clothes already versus in the games, he starts out as a little baby Yoshi and you have to feed him to make him grow. So they kind of just speed things along because they only got 90 minutes to tell this story. So Yoshi's just born really big and he's in the city doing his thing. So it's a little different, but it's funny. They throw in so many Easter eggs from so many different games that I've never played that it's really hard to keep up because the movie's very, very fast paced, which is actually really good because the target audience is small children. So it will definitely keep them engaged. They probably won't get bored. But for some of the references, they were things that I didn't get because I haven't played every single Mario game, but I can appreciate that it's there for those fans. And when they finally get to the Rob cameo, it's really funny just seeing something so silly make it into these movies, and there's other references to so many old hardware and other gaming elements that only older fans will know and recognize. We didn't get Baby Mario screaming, "Hey!" on the back of Yoshi, which is unfortunate, but we did get Baby Mario riding on the back of a Yoshi. The movie is also loaded with musical Easter eggs, which I truly enjoy because the Mario and the Nintendo music is always great stuff. There still is some pop music sprinkled here or there, but thankfully it's less than the first film. I like how well they mixed in so many different games into this movie, so you get stuff from Mario Galaxy where they're in the desert land and then the dinosaurs there, but then you also see stuff from the classic games like the original Mario 3 in the Cloud Land, and then they mix in things from even Mario Sunshine and Mario Galaxy. It's really great to see, especially if you're a fan. The movie definitely picks up once Star Fox shows up, and he serves as more of a transport in this movie, but they have this really cool intro animation for him that I think they must have outsourced to a Japanese anime studio because it looks so cool and it's so well done, and his character really steals the scene, and he's not overbearing or anything. He ends up being very comedic, but it's just great to see him interacting with the other characters. There is just so much that happens in this movie, and I think they did a pretty good job of trying to get everyone their screen time. So Peach and Toad go out and they get their segment together, and then you have Yoshi with his content, Luigi gets a lot of screen time, Mario's there with Luigi together as brothers, Fox gets his element, Rosalina gets her good scene in the beginning, And then Koopa and his son get a lot of screen time as well. So they're balancing a lot of different characters and a lot of different things, but it keeps the plot moving very quickly. The best part of the movie by far is the final act, when we have the big final action scene. And it's great. I love this part of the movie so much. They throw in all the classic elements in the graphics, and it's hilarious because, spoiler, you see Koopa Jr. building basically a Mario Maker level, and you get all the classic traps, and you get the classic platforming, and you get to watch Mario go through a level like normally you would in a game. And it's really cool to see it switching between the 2D pixel art and then the 3D animation segments. And then it all comes together at the end with the classic Koopa on the bridge in the castle with the fire below, and Mario has to actually dodge the fire breathing over Koopa to get the axe to break the bridge and knock him into the lava. So it's the perfect ending to that battle. And then it even goes beyond that though, where he becomes the kind of bone Koopa that you've seen in some other games, so it just keeps going with even more references even after that's completed. And then it wraps up with an even bigger battle where I think they're using the powers from maybe the Mario Sunshine game with a magic paintbrush, where he summons this giant dragon monster, which I'm not familiar with a giant dragon monster in any Mario games, but I'm sure it happened in Galaxy or Odyssey or some other game I haven't played. And they have a big showdown with this giant monster, and Koopa's there, and Koopa Jr., and Mario does a really heroic thing, and he ends up saving Koopa Jr. to show that he's a true hero, and you get the really cool power-up scene of him flying around. So it's like the perfect Mario ending right there. And then Peach gets to have her moment with what turns out to be her sister, and I'm not sure if they're sisters in the game since I never played Mario Galaxy, but they do connect and they have a nice sister moment. One weird thing about their powers is that they're made of like space dust, and they have the power of basically gods, and they can create life. So it's actually kind of crazy how overpowered they are now when you think about it, that they're basically two goddesses, and what are the limits of their creation and god powers. It's not touched on at all, but it's kind of funny that they're these ultimate superpowers people, you know, hanging out with Super Mario Brothers. But at least in the end, Luigi is probably going to get his ship with Rosalina here, because it's mentioned earlier how he's looking for Peach to introduce him to her friends so that he can get a girlfriend. So part of the plot is that Mario wants to, you know, kind of confess to Peach, but he can't quite get the courage to do it. And so it's great that they're finally getting into that relationship portion that wasn't in the first movie much at all, because every single old Mario game, the point of the game was always to just get a kiss from the princess. And I always enjoyed beating Super Mario World and seeing that moment where Peach floats down out of the clown car thing that Koopa rides around in, and then she always gives Mario a kiss and he blushes, and that's the end of the game. Like, you get the kiss. And that's always been Miyamoto's thing, is like, gotta get the kiss from the princess, right? So it's great that they finally, in this movie, at the very end, once the battle's over, it's a giant commercial for Mario Maker now. And they have the old pixel art as they rebuild the whole castle using Mario Maker, which is cool because they use the Super Mario World graphics, which are some of my favorites. And in the end of that, Peach actually comes and gives Mario the kiss that we'd been waiting for an entire movie. So he finally gets his kiss. He uses a feather power-up to fly to the top of the castle and plant the flag, and the movie ends. And that's just absolutely perfect, because that is how Mario's supposed to end. And then they play some of the classic Mario music, the Super Mario World ending theme, which I love. And the credits are fun to watch, where they have Koopa doing a puppet show of the movie, which is a callback to an earlier scene where he does a puppet show for his son every single night to tell the story of how they will rule the universe. There is so much fan service in this movie, and there's a couple of surprise cameos. So spoilers, they have Mr. Game & Watch come out for a second, and he just wrecks Bowser so badly. And they have the little Pikmin cameo, and I'm sure there's a bunch more other background things that I missed. But there's a lot to unpack in this film, and if you're looking for Easter eggs, they're everywhere. So I think fans of this series and fans of Mario are really going to enjoy this film, as well as younger audiences, because at its core, the movie is made for little kids. It has a lot of little kid humor, it's silly, it's very fast paced. It's definitely made for the little kids, but if you're an adult and you do like the Mario series, I think you can still enjoy this. Some adults are already complaining about how they don't really enjoy it so much, but most adults are maybe not really super fans of the Mario series. So if you are a Smash Brothers fan, if you are a Mario fan, I think you'll still enjoy this, even though we know critics will hate it. They can never like a movie like this. This is a movie that was made for the fans, and you can tell that they put a lot of thought into a lot of these elements and tried to bring out as much as they could into this movie. And here's hoping that in the next movie, they incorporate a few more characters and that we can get to the end game, which would be the Super Smash Bros. Movie.